Monday. It is the 10th of February. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Our top stories today. First, he's been held in North Korea for more than a year now, but Kenneth Bae says he has not lost hope. We are hearing from him in his own words. The Korean American spoke with a Swedish diplomat at a camp where he is doing hard labor. This comes as North Korea called off a planned visit by a U.S. envoy to discuss Bae's case. The former U.S. ambassador is also in North Korea right now. Let's get more now on all of these developments from CNN's Paula Hancock. She joins us now live from Seoul. Paula?
Well, Monita, as you say, Donald Gregg, the former U.S. ambassador to South Korea and also a worker at an employer at the CIA for more than 30 years, is...
All right, Paula, thank you. Paula Hancock's there live for us from Seoul. Absolutely scandalous. That's how the French foreign minister described the situation in Homs after talk about letting aid reach starving civilians failed to translate into action. Laurent Fabius says France and other countries will now call for a UN resolution demanding the immediate opening of humanitarian corridors to besieged Syrian cities. The move comes as a second round of peace talks gets underway in Geneva. Mohammed Jamjoon joins us now from CNN Beirut with more on that. Mohammed?
Yeah, Monita, good morning. We're told that already today, Lakhdar Brahimi, the joint UN Arab League envoy...
Some of the other stories that we're following here at CNN News Center. Chapelle Corby is free on parole. The Australian was released from a prison on the island of Bali today and was swarmed by a crush of reporters. She has always insisted she's innocent despite being convicted of drug smuggling in 2005. Under the terms of her parole, Corby must remain in Bali until 2017. In Bangladesh, a fugitive couple who owned a clothing factory that burned down in November 2012 have surrendered to authorities. 112 workers were killed in the fire just outside the capital, Dhaka. The owners requested bail, but were denied. They face homicide charges and could get life in prison. Japan is digging out from its heaviest urban snowfall in about 20 years. About 27 centimeters of snow has fallen in Tokyo. The storm has caused power outages, icy roads, and flight cancellations. Local media report at least 11 storm-related deaths. The leaders of the U.S. and France have come together to call for action on climate change. Presidents Barack Obama and François Hollande urged other nations to help them reach an ambitious global agreement. That's what they're calling it, to reduce greenhouse gases. They issued their call in a joint editorial published in the Washington Post and in Le Monde. Well, the European Commission says it will have to reassess its ties with Switzerland after a referendum on immigration. Just over 50% of Swiss voters backed a plan to limit the number of foreigners who can work and live in the country. Foreigners make up a quarter of Switzerland's population and about 20% of the workforce. You're watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. I'm Monita Rajpal. So coming up today at the Winter Olympics in Sochi, 5 medal events, including men's speed skating, women's alpine skiing, and men's freestyle skiing. Russia took home its first gold medals on Sunday. Veteran skater Evgeny Pushenko, from endless talk of terror to embarrassing photos of unfinished hotel rooms, wandering stray dogs and venues with empty seats. When it comes to criticism of the Sochi Winter Olympics, Russians have pretty much heard it all, but they're not letting this get in the way of their national pride. CNN senior international correspondent Ivan Watson joins us now live from Sochi with more on that. Ivan?
Hi, Monita. That's right. The games are underway. We're in the third day of the competition.
Still lots of fun to be had. All right, Ivan, thank you very much for that. Ivan Watson there live for us from Sochi. And of course, you can find complete coverage of the Sochi Games on our Aiming for Gold website. We have a live blog with the latest from the competition. Now to a major gay rights milestone in the United States. The Justice Department is issuing instructions that will extend the same federal protections to married same-sex couples that are given to other married couples. That will include the 34 states that do not allow allow gays and lesbians to get married. The new policy will provide things like survivor benefits, prison visits, and refusing to testify against a spouse in court. For those fighting for same-sex marriages to be recognized by the government, the new policy is one more step toward equality. But critics say it undermines states' rights. You are watching CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. Give it CNN News Center live from Hong Kong. A Danish zoo is facing criticism over its decision to euthanize a healthy 2-year-old giraffe. The animal was not needed for breeding purposes, and the zoo said it did not have the resources to continue to house and feed it. Fred Pleitgen has more.
This is Marius, a young giraffe still alive and perfectly healthy. But Sunday, the Copenhagen Zoo euthanized the 2-year-old animal anyway, sparking an international outrage.
Rising floodwaters are devastating large parts of southwest Britain, bringing misery to thousands of families and their homes. It follows weeks of relentless rains and gale-force winds. January was the wettest on record since 1766. 5,000 houses have been flooded. Well, let's get a check of what the weather conditions are expected for today and, of course, the rest of the week in that part of the world. Mari Ramos is at the World Weather Center with more. And Mari, we heard earlier from Matthew Chance, who's there in Somerset County, saying that Monday is expected to be the driest day on the week.
Probably, yes. And you know what? If the rain would stop today and not come back for another 2 weeks, we will still have this flooding along the rivers here. And that is one of the major concerns as we head through the next few days, late Tuesday and into Wednesday. Back to you.
All right. Mari, thank you very much. And before we go, we have this just in for you from Sochi. Germany's Maria Höfel-Riesch has won gold in the women's alpine skiing super combined. So congratulations there to Germany. You are watching CNN News Center. I'm Monita Rajpal live at CNN Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us. I'll update you the news headlines in just a few minutes.